Hey, what is going on, Jerome's? Happy Tuesday out there. We're back with our noonish, noonish, couple minutes late, whatever. Noonish live stream that we're doing all week. Just sort of testing out the water since everyone is in QT quarantine, or at least should be. Yeah, unless you're going after the essentials. Like this morning, I was sent out on a grocery store venture. So I put my mask on, I put my gloves on, I put my protective goggles on, I put my Punisher sweatshirt on. I don't know where it is. There was some Karen in the store who didn't like my hooded sweatshirt. It's Punisher logo with the skull and stuff on it, and she's like, "That sends a bad message." She must be a DC fan, not down with the Marvel universe, but whatever. I was forced to go out because of the kid, so the boy who is a bit like me, super low key, super Spartan, super whatever. But apparently, he needed a larger variety of baby food. You know, had bananas, had some prunes, had some green beans. He needed more. He needed the. They have some funky combinations now. Oh, all right. So already starting on a tangent. You notice that whenever there's like health food or anything like that, something that's extremely processed and derived, you notice that they don't do like the primary flavors. Like they generally don't do like chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, something like that. It's always something weird like chocolate peanut butter malt, or strawberry kiwi, or orange vanilla, some of that. I think they do that because the flavoring chemicals, everyone knows what chocolate and strawberry and vanilla tastes like, but since there's doing so many funky different things, like no one really knows what does strawberry kiwi orange taste like. I don't know, but it sounds good. Ship it. So then it's generally just like random fruit to whatever. That's my conspiracy theory about that. So welcome in on the live streams all week at noon. We're doing about an hour every single day. We'll do the Q&A, which we always put out to the YouTube community. Again, thank you very much for coming along. As well as the live chat is going. Live chat is going and showing. If you want your questions answered from the live chat, toss a couple bucks in the super chat. Love you guys there. And it's just up. I don't know. This is fun for me. This is a good way to hang out, especially since a lot of people are, really uncertain times. Some people are either furloughed or just straight up laid off from work, which again, unfortunate. And if we can help you get through the day, help give you a little bit of entertainment. Well, infotainment, I guess, it's like some marginal information and then a little bit of entertainment. Help your day go by faster. Love you guys for that. Also, if you want to support the channel, hit that join button down below. Find out how you can become a monthly or platinum Jerome, because now more than ever, just supporting like these rebel industries, this non-traditional media. That's how we're gonna roll. Plus, I think there's gonna be like a Goddard of the traditional media outlets, because things are gonna get bad economics wise. I think a lot of businesses are going to go kaput. And if businesses go kaput, a lot of marketing dollars ain't going to get spent. So a lot of advertising budget, a lot of revenue for some of these traditional media sites are going to go down. So I think it could be bad. So I think the fact that like having a lean, mean operation like we do here, like it's me and producer Allie. That's really it. And depending on how long she's sleeping in, sometimes it's just me. But this is all it takes. I mean, we have this nice little, beautiful interfacing setup, and it costs me $29. And also, I had to figure out how to use it. But just a little bit of gumption. Content is content. So maybe we're in for a little bit of a content revolution. Anyways, off the soapbox there. Keep lighting up the live chat. Heart you guys. Shout out to Non-Founded YT. Really getting in there. Also, let's get some shout outs for where people are watching from. So put in where you're currently quarantining, hopefully, and watching the channel. We'll give a couple of shout outs there, and then we'll get going on the Q&As. Well, no, we're going to make fun of this logo first. Yeah. Stupid Los Angeles Times. Get your face. Close the player. Close. No. Cookies. Yeah. Justin Naranjo, $2 in the super chat. If Jalen falls to the third round, should we draft him? If Jalen Hurts falls that far, for sure. Even though I think the Vikings draft plans will certainly change, even though Well, Kirk Cousins signed the 2-year extension. I think it's clear that his team for the foreseeable future. But it's ironic because the Vikings are set up better this year than ever before if they really wanted to go after the quarterback of the future. I mean, they could go all the way up if they want to. Like, they could conceivably get the number 1 pick if they so chose. Because I think. All right, so let's look at the draft chart. We'll get to the shouts here a bit. Draft tech trade chart. You guys are seeing my browsing history might not be good. Yeah. All right. All right, so Cincinnati, the number 1 overall pick is at 3,000 points. Okay, slide that over. 3,000 points. Adding up the Vikings, 22 and 25. That's 1,500. So you'd have to give them a little bit of extra sugar. Future first-round picks. Now, the opportunity cost is also sucked out. Plus, you don't know exactly where those picks are going to chart. So for future picks, I always chart them at 10, roughly. So 1,300 plus, what do we say, 1,500 plus a little bit more sugar. Third round pick, fourth round pick, fifth round pick. That gets relatively close. Like, I don't know if the Vikings want to give up that much, but these 2 first, as well as a future first, will get you in the neighborhood of number 1 overall. So if the Vikings truly want to do that, I don't know. Although I'm just not sold on Burrow. I'm just really not. I think Burrow was great last year, don't get me wrong, but could he be a 1-year wonder? Could he be a product of the Joe Brady system? I think he certainly could be. So, I mean, as clear-cut as it is that he's going to be number 1, I don't know. God, I like Tua a lot. The hip concerns me, and that's really about it. All the other quarterbacks really do have their faults, but a lot of them do have potential as well. But it's a shame that this year isn't the Trevor Lawrence year. Like, honestly, if the Vikings had this draft ammo next year, they could be in very pretty position to be making some moves and getting either Trevor Lawrence or even Justin Fields up there. All right, so shout-outs. Got Ames, Iowa, Aiden Stanfield, Sioux Falls, shout-out. Sioux Falls, the offensive line. Oh, Trey Pipkins. Yeah, went to the Chargers. There you go. See here. Landon Miller, New Jersey. We Productions, Mound, Minnesota. I think that's where Rich Gannon lives. Yeah, it's a really nice area over there by the lakes. Hops, Eden Prairie. See here. Jonathan Taylor in Stillwater, Minnesota. Shout out Stillwater. Shout out. Nelson's Ice Cream. There's so many things as a parent that you just enjoy more because you're experiencing them with your kids and through the eyes of your kids. Just like going out and getting an assload of ice cream. And just like being completely just like, blah, blah, blah. It's so much fun, right? Nelson's Ice Cream, Stillwater, as well as they have a location on Snelling. I want to say, yeah, right off of Snelling. But just amazing place. Get the small, get the kids small. That's all you need. Little Known Perfection, Texas. See here, Mitchell Anderson, St. Cloud, Sub-Zero, watching from El Paso, Texas. Shout out Texas Western. What is it? Or UTEP now, I guess. Sure. Chase Roberts, Jamestown, North Dakota. Same thing, Nate Dogg, go Bison. Screw the Bison. Let's see. Edwin Bootsy, Deutschland. Ooh, Edwin, shout out. What's going on, man? Let's see here. A couple more that we get going. Oh, Paul Silva, OG Jerome. Visalia, California. Completely locked down. You're probably out there playing basketball. Kevin McGuire, Florida. And we'll do one more. Let's see here. All right, so now you guys are talking about Herschel Walker in the chat. Oh, Samuel Salinger, Austria, Europe. I like that he put Europe in parentheses, like I didn't know where Austria was. Like, do you think I was going to pull a Dumb and Dumber? Austria, gorgeous. Let's put another shrimp on the barbie. Let's not. Great movie, by the way. All right, so we'll do some Q&A. We got some mock draft. Oh, actually, no. All right, so the Rams logo. I don't like this logo. I really don't, because this seems like a logo that they would put on a fake football team from the movie Any Given Sunday, like Willie Beeman playing the Los Angeles Sun Rays or whatever. And I get it. LA, Los Angeles, they're trying to incorporate that in, and it looks, and the Rams horn sort of looks like a wave they're trying to put in the ocean. I fully understand what they're trying to do, but Also, by the way, graphic designers get very snooty about things because they referenced that it was like inspired by some XYZ, blah, 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 blah. It's like, no, like logos are, they're very subjective. Don't get me wrong. And even though I'm not fully into the arts or the shadings or all that other stuff or the deeper meanings, or I didn't know that there was an arrow in the FedEx logo. I got to pull that up. Hidden logos. This is actually kind of fun. Yeah, like, let's see here. Yeah, I didn't know that there was an arrow in the FedEx for the longest time. I just didn't know. Also, see what else here. Or some other ones. Oh, apparently McDonald's arches are boobs. Boobs. Who knew? But, all right, so going back to the old Rams thing. All right. So, I mean, there was nothing wrong with this logo. This logo was beautiful. This was an amazing logo. No, this one especially. This was the best. Actually, no. Brighter yellow. There you go. These were the best. And the fact that they were going to go back to the old school color scheme, even though the Rams have been half pregnant the entire way. So they went away from the greatest show on turf, like dark blue and sort of goldish. And they're like, oh, well, we're going to wear our throwback uniforms all the time. And then we're going to make the helmets white. Okay, sure, whatever. But now it does seem like they're going back to the old school, like bright yellow, like old school Los Angeles, Eric Dickerson Rams. Yes. These quite possibly are the greatest uniforms in NFL history. They are amazing. I love and respect these. These are great. As well as, the Rams have history. The Rams were the first team to have a logo on their helmet, and it was the OG, swirly Ram thing. So I'm a little concerned that the Rams are going to try to incorporate, this jabroniness into their helmet, which would be a travesty, an absolute, just a dereliction of duty, and just it hurts. Also, so this Rams logo, there's a reason why this Rams horn is trying to jab into his neck, because he wants to end it. Like, I don't want to be part of this world. It's like the science experiment gone wrong. It's like a Frankenstein when they tried to put together like a humanoid frog, and then the thing is born. It's like, kill me. That's what this Rams logo wants to do. This Rams logo, he's such a stern look on his face because he wants to jam this horn into his neck and end it all, because he does not want to be here anymore. Meanwhile, very passionate about logos, by the way. This Rams logo, that is a great logo. Why? Why are you messing with goodness? Here's a hot take. There has never been a good logo change ever in NFL history. Absolutely not. No, because also you think of like uniform changes too, like the Browns, like putting Browns on side the pants, like you're some sort of like freshman co-ed. It's like, oh, Delta Phi Sigma. No, yeah, along the side of the pants. Sure, you doing that? No, but I will say, like, going best college football uniforms. Like also like the whole like Oregon-ness of college football, I think that's gotten on hand. But you look at some of the great uniforms, like LSU. I love LSU not just because of the colors, obviously, but just clean cut, classic. It's amazing, right? Or Alabama or Penn State. Except for Penn State's history, you know what I mean? But there's just something about clean, classic looks, like Oregon uniforms. There we go. Like, this won't be relevant in 50 years, 100 years. It really won't, even though the world will end because of coronavirus. Like, all of these looks, I mean, they're fun, whatever. They sell a lot of merch to the jabroni fans. And, yeah, maybe it will get an 18-year-old kid in the door because, like, ooh, I get to wear a different uniform every single week as I get my ass whooped by USC. Cool. Great. Yeah. So, anyways, that is my take on the Rams logo. That is all. It's not very good. All right. Trade chart. All right. So we'll go over that. All right. No, so sorry to go off on a tangent there. You guys are great. You're wonderful. All right, so let's get into this Q&A. Do you think Zimmer could unlock the potential of former first-round pick Shane Ray? He showed promise at the end of Denver, insisted on being a stand-up outside linebacker. Maybe Zimmer could do for Ray what he did. Where did Ray end up? And don't say Star Wars because I haven't seen it, and also I don't care. PFR, Shane Ray. Because I actually advocated for him, the Vikings picking him up last offseason for similar reasons. Do you just spend the year out of football? No, hold on. Was he just completely airballed in 2019? I think he might be. Well, Shane Ray is also a bodybuilder. So there you go. No, that's Sean Ray. Shane Ray. All right, so Shane Ray ended up on the Ravens. He was part of the training camp, and then he was cut, and then he wasn't picked up. Well, maybe, but also I think the bloom could be off the rose. I think just grabbing some younger guys, I think that makes a lot more sense. Long Pole Skull, your thoughts on bringing Timmy Jernigan into play next to his former backup, Mike Pierce? The Blair Walsh Project. 4 secondary players that are available. I think Zimmer could work his magic on Marcus Gilchrist, Tony Lippett, Kivari Russell, and Stanley John Baptiste. Your thoughts? The only free agent I'm really in on would be NRC. And other than that, just bring in a bunch of young dudes. You got 12 draft picks. There you go. Boston Drell. Can Adam Thielen be able to, $5 in the super chat, can Adam Thielen be able to play at a high level again in 2020, especially now that a big weapon Diggs will not be on the field? I am a little concerned that Diggs won't be there to help alleviate some of the attention, because now number 19 is going to be public enemy number 1 for every single D coordinator, every single defensive backfield. So it is going to be a test. I think it is a little bit easier that he operates mainly from the slot, so you can work some matchups there, because otherwise, I mean, some teams, sure, you'll have cornerback 1 follow him into the slot, but generally you're going to be lining up against nickelbacks, and it's certainly going to be different. It's certainly going to be different. I think that if he can revert to the high-level play that he had, especially in 2018, it's possible. But he is on the wrong side of 30. He is getting there. It's one of those, you almost got trade fever, punting Diggs out of town, that you didn't think about the consequences. And even though this is a great wide receiver draft, I mean, those guys are going to come in, probably need a little bit of seasoning. BC is a great 3. I don't know if he can be a 2 out of the gate. So we'll see. Let's see here. Travis, how much potential do you think Hercules Mataafa has? And who in the draft do you think do you like as a D-line prospect for the Vikings? Well, Javon Kinlaw, one time. Bring him on down. Let's see here. I like Kinlaw. I like James Lynch out of Baylor. I like Roquan Davis out of Bama. I like Nick Coe out of Alabama. Auburn. Bad mistake there. I like the Iowa kid, Espinoza. I like the Penn State kid with 17 different names. I like Chase Young. Yeah. But with Herc sort of had a lost year last year. I mean, because in training camp, everyone was hyped. Training camp and preseason, him working on the inside, just a Tasmanian devil, a ball burst of energy. And then you saw him in the regular season. He was a healthy scratch for a lot of games. And he just never really got the time of day. So I don't know if that's him falling off. Maybe it's something with Zimmer. But he doesn't have a true position, which is unfortunate. He could have added a little bit of weight. I think he was up to 275 last year. He came in at 254 as a D tackle out of Washington State. So maybe he's bulked up a little bit more. Hopefully he hasn't lost an ounce of that quickness. So maybe year 3 could be the place to be. With Herc, it's possible. JD Mack. How do you feel about bringing in Tyler Eifert on 1-year deal, pairing up with Rudy and moving Smith Jr. wide receiver? Smith Cosby, I don't know. Moving Irv to a straight-up wide receiver makes a lot of sense, but you could see him working on the slot a lot more. Also, the Vikings are going to be working a lot of 2 tight end sets. Irv was a lot better inline blocker as a rookie than I expected him to be. And with Eifert, it's always just a bag of injuries with Eifert. Sort of meh. Miles O'Leary. Why haven't the Vikings cut Riley Reif, and who's your favorite player on the Vikings? I think right now they haven't moved on from Reif just because they're sort of waiting to see if they can do better. Because, I mean, Jason Peters is out there. Trent Williams is still out there. And I think that they know, since there isn't a deadline with Reif, because none of his base salary this year is triggered to be guaranteed, like third day of the new league year, nothing like that. So he can go all the way up to week 1. So I think that the Vikings know that they have 8.8 million in cap space that they can free up by cutting or trading Reef. So they're just going to hang on to him until they find something better for sure. I think it is a smart move because it would suck if you just cut him and then you can't do better in the draft. Like, say the draft board gets really wonky. But if they don't come away with Trent Williams, and if they don't, say they do pick up one of the top 6 tackles or Ezra Cleveland, toss him in there as well. I should say just top 7 tackles, because why not? And then maybe you can see in camp if the rookies are performing Reef, then you can move on from Reef. No harm, no foul. No big deal there. So I can see that. Favorite player on the Vikings right now? Daniil. Daniil's pretty easily. Donovan Lee. Hey, man, love the work. Who are your top 5 free agent signs the Vikings could still make? And also, what's your favorite Adam Sandler movie? Right now, I mean, I guess Nicole Roby-Coleman. I'll throw... Who's the guy that we just talked about this morning? Kurska? Man, the Ravens interior offensive lineman. My brain is scattered at the moment. Put Rashad Perriman in there. Cam Newton? Oh, no, probably not. Wisniewski is gone. All right. Actually, while we look, actually, it'd be better if we look. Spot rack, free agents. This is really good live stream. Actually, it's not bad. If the internet wasn't so slow. Yeah, I was just thinking it would be a world apocalypse if the internet just went out right now. Actually, Spot Rack may be just be getting hammered with traffic. So, ain't loading. Oh well. Favorite Adam Sandler movie? Say Happy Gilmore. But also... I mean, people forget Uncut Gems was a good movie. I don't think that was like an Oscar level performance for Sandler, but also screw the Oscars at this point. But also people forget that Adam Sandler is a pretty damn good actor when he wants to be. Like, doing the silly movies like the ones that they have on Netflix. What was it? The Outrageous 8 or whatever it was. Like, he does make some crap movies doing it for the paycheck, but I mean, go watch Big Daddy. I mean, Big Daddy is legit great. Him and Bulletproof, really good. Airheads. Airheads might be in my top 20 favorite movies of all time. It really is good. Brendan Fraser, Steve Buscemi. Adam Sandler is like the 3rd or 4th banana in that movie. It is a phenomenal movie. It's funny. It's empty calorie popcorn movie. It's great. But Sandler, Punch Drunk Love, he's really great. Click. I mean, first time I watched Click, I tuned up a little bit. I got a little verklempt. He was great in that too. Sometimes I wish Sandler would have been in Inglourious Basterds because Eli Roth was awesome as the Bear Jew. But could you imagine just like Adam Sandler, just like walking out with a baseball bat? Hilarious. All right, so Paul Haywood, 3. I've seen a lot of Deshaun Watson 1 out of Houston rumors, which makes sense. So my question is, even with the Kirk extension, don't you have to try and make that happen? Well, Kirk technically has the no-trade clause this season, so no. But yeah, I don't blame Deshaun Watson for wanting out of Houston because Houston is a friggin' train wreck. Like, whoever gave Bill O'Brien the keys to that team needs to be shot. What? That's a little bit too far. They need to have their rights, not football, taken away. Sure. Ravel Chavis. Great backtracking. I've been hearing some Trent Williams for Anthony Harris rumors. What do you think? Sure. Also, maybe Raiders trade for Harris since they have $40 million cap space. Sure. Zealous KOG. Do you believe Winfield Jr. can fit in the Vikings defense? If we do draft him, possibly can he be a great starter someday? I think for sure. He doesn't fit the mold of like a traditional NFL safety, although I think he brings a lot of uniqueness to the position. Like, I've compared him to, he's basically Honey Badger, where he can play corner, he can play safety, he can play slot corner, he can do all those things. So the versatility, I think, will certainly help him, especially since the league is now all sub-package everything. Like he would match up extremely well with slot receivers, slot tight ends to a degree, but also the fact that he can play just some straight up free safety in this league, I believe, even though it's not like a perfect fit. But yeah, ball hawk, leader, guy really gets after it. And again, I would say all this if his name was was Hezekiah Bartkowski, right? Like, I don't care that he's Antoine Winfield's kid, or I don't care that he's a gopher. He's just a fantastic player in his own right that I wouldn't mind seeing on the Vikings at all. Julian Watron. Uh, what is your dream Vikings draft in the first 3 rounds? Also, can you stream the first round? Um, we probably will stream something on the first round. Although with the 2 picks, I like doing the background profile video, get that out real quick. So maybe we'll kick it off after we'll knock it off after the Vikings do pick, or maybe we'll do something afterwards as like a recap. That could be fun. Dream draft for the first round. So for me in the draft, I'm never like, hey, it has to be this guy or bust. Like, I'm generally pick a position, even though I am team BPA. Bear with me. If you have positions in need, there's always like stratas. So I always have like a group of guys that I like. So first 3 rounds for me, if you can come away with one of the top 6 tackles, fantastic. If you can come away with one of the, probably not getting Judy or CeeDee Lamb. So if you come away with the wide receiver from that second tier group, so T. Higgins, Denzel Mims, Justin Jefferson, Ruggs. I'm missing one. Oh, Laviska Shenault. Come away with one of those. Great. And then cornerbacks wise, again, probably not getting CJ Henderson, probably not getting Akuda. So if you're able to come away with it from the LSU kid, the South Carolina kid, AJ Terrell, Bryce Hall, I like a lot more than other people do. If you're able to do that, awesome. So that would be my dream. Like O-line, specifically tackle, wide receiver, cornerback. Mason Large, do you think the Vikings would re-sign Xavier Rhodes to a veteran minimum deal? No, I don't think Rhodes would do it. I think the beef between he and Zimmer, it runs deep, and I don't think that they would welcome him back. Tyler Brush, you've been talking about Hunter switching sides, and it got me thinking maybe Zimmer's plan this year is to have an uber flexible defensive scheme, 3-4-4-3, multiple players, fill around 2 roles in the defense. I think the Vikings are really going to be flexing, changing things up quite a bit up front, as teams that traditionally switch from 4-3 to a 3-4 or 3-4 to a 4-3 tend to do. There's usually an interregnum year where there's a lot of mishmatching going around. And hell, maybe it'll be like the Patriots. I mean, the Patriots play multiple fronts all the time, which would be great. Lorenz Kindling, your thoughts on teams like the Giants and Miami, especially the Giants still crap. I love and respect the Dolphins rebuild a lot more than the Giants. I do not trust Dave Gettleman. I think he's a little bit too old school in his thinking. I think the Giants are wrong to be building out around a running back, even one as good as Saquon Barkley. I didn't agree with the Daniel Jones pick at all. But other than that, they're great. And with Miami, they have 3 first-round picks. I would have liked to see them hold on to Minka, which is kind of annoying. But they signed up Byron Jones, so I feel like they are spending their cap pretty judiciously. I think they are building a really solid young team. I really like Brian Flores. I think he's a leader of men. I think he's the right man for that job. And I think they're going to come away from this draft with Tua or Justin Herbert or whoever quarterback that they want besides Joe Burrow. Hell, they could probably get Joe Burrow if they want to. So there's going to be a lot of talent infused on this team. So I'm more excited about the Dolphins than I am the Giants, especially since the Patriots are seemingly ding-dong, the witch is dead. I mean, how gangster would it be? Bill Belichick has one tank year, gets Trevor Lawrence, and then wins 9,000 more Super Bowls. That's exactly what's going to happen, by the way. You know it. You know this, man. A wild guy, 0816. If we do trade Harris, who steps in and takes his place? A free agent or high draft pick, or possibly both? Probably a draft pick at that point. So if Harris does leave, that does change the calculus at the top of the draft. I do want the Vikings to come away with one of the top 3 safeties, which would be McKinney, Delpit, Winfield Jr., etc. JD Mack, last question. Could you see us bringing back George Aloka? No. I mean, that bridge was burned. Like, they straight up lied to George Aloka what his role was going to be. I mean, George, he is a pro's pro. He wasn't going to badmouth Zim, but there were some promises that were definitely broken with George Aloka. So fortunate. Well, it also doesn't help that J-Ron Curse really stepped up that year too. Matt Smith, hypothetically, if let's say a team, Pats, Washington, had their heart set on Thielen and Cousins, what would it take for a singular team to get them both? 3 firsts and Gilmore? Well, I mean, if a team really wants a 32-year-old quarterback and a 30-plus-year-old wide receiver, both on big contracts. One of them, an absolute millstone of a contract. 3 firsts. I would do it for 2 firsts. I really would. Samuel Becker. What would you think if we traded Harris and replaced him with Rashad Jones, Demarius Randall, or Tony Jefferson? Doesn't Tony Jefferson only have 9 fingers? Now I gotta look that up. Tony Jefferson fingers. Let's see if we can find a picture of it. Doesn't look like it. Who knew? Oh, well. Next. Samuel Salinger. How far do you think we can get this year, and what do you think the Vikings record would look like? Skull from Austria. Super Bowl, 11-5, staying alive, win the division. There you go. Amaya Deshpande. Thoughts on Cameron Dantzler, Jalen Johnson, and A.J. Terrell. Yeah, those are the names that gave me. Of course, Dantzler does not go to South Carolina, Mississippi State guy, as well as Jalen Johnson. I like him from Utah. A.J. Terrell, we did a profile on him earlier today, I believe, where I think that he does combine some of the better parts of Xavier Rhodes and Trey Waynes. Tested extremely well at the combine. I think that those three certainly could be in play. Maybe not where the Vikings draft in the second round, but I could see them being available at the top end of the second round or back end of the first. Who do you think would be better, Joe Burrow or Trevor Lawrence? Trevor Lawrence, because Joe Burrow is like 30 years old, by the way. MIT. If for some reason Anthony Harris gets traded somewhere, what round do you think the Vikings would draft a safety? I think second, potentially having to move up to get one of the top 3. Or maybe they sit pat. Maybe they take Geno Stone out of Iowa. Oakview. Minneapolis Miracle, inspirational man. I'm going to miss Diggs and have to change my profile pic. That was the year, I believe, the Super Bowl. Yeah, I mean, that's where it was all set up. That amazing finish and home Super Bowl, bring it on home. Prince-inspired halftime show by JT. And then you just shit the bed in Philly because you blew your wad emotionally in the divisional round. Like, honestly, if the Vikings just hold on to that 17-point halftime lead and no muss, no fuss, and just win a normal game, I think they win the Super Bowl. Because then you don't have that just complete draining of emotion. And then you just come out flat against Philly. Well, they scored on the first drive, respect. But then the rest of it was like that defense. If you really want to get mad, go back and watch the second half of that game. There are players, notable Vikings players, some of them are gone now, by the way, who just flat out quit. Who are just like, this ain't our night. Deuces. I'm gone. Shit. Johnny Yang Fitness. Thoughts on Roquan Davis, D-line from Alabama. What round is he going to get drafted in? I really like him. I could see him being a day 2 pick. Some places haven't projected all over places. Late first, early fourth. I mean, this is the time of year where there's only 32 players that can get drafted in the first round, except if you look around, talk to anyone, there's 70 players going in the first. And there's only 64 players that can get picked in the first 2 rounds. You see 104 going in the first 2 rounds. So 0 chance that these 104 players fall out of the first 2 rounds. It's one of those spots where I like Davis. I like his versatility. I think that he could be a really nice asset for the Vikings, especially if they are going to play a mixed 3-4, 4-3 front. Yeah, so second round, I think that'd be a nice place to target him. Husk Gamer 15. Heard the Patriots are interested in Anthony Harris. Maybe the Vikings snag Joe Thuney one time. Yeah, I say just swap franchise players. Let's do it. Hunter Williams. Could the Vikings do a trade as early as today? Sure. I mean, that's the standard news answer. Potentially as early as today. Joe was get. Can you recommend any good shows on Netflix? Actually, we'll do this up. I'm going to pull up my Netflix queue. So on Hulu, the wife and I have really been hammering Top Chef. We've been going through all the seasons of Top Chef backwards for some reason. So we started with Charleston, and then we just went backwards. Right now we're on season 5, which is in New York. That was the Jose Estefan Fabio Carla year. That was a great season. So I like that. Amazon... What am I watching on Amazon? But here. Oh, we just watched Hook. Yeah, we watched Hook with the daughter. She's really big into like fairies and princesses and stuff. So we told her, "Oh, it's a Tinkerbell movie," and now she can't. She just goes around the house saying "Roofie, oh," which is awesome. Oh, Space Jam's on here. That's great. Let's see here. The wife loves Gilmore Girls. I watching Glorious Bastards for like the 17,000th time. She likes Outlander. I tried watching this Bad Blood show, which it's got Kim Coates from from Sons of Anarchy. Can't really get into it. It's one of those spots. Of course, I love James Bond movies. Let's see what else here. Oh, Narcos. Narcos OG, as well as Narcos Mexico, phenomenal show. Oh, Ozark is coming back on Friday. That's great. Watch People versus OJ Simpson. The entire time, I just could not get over. It's like, this is not OJ. This is Cuba Gooding Jr. pretending to be OJ. You know who should have been OJ? Lenny Kravitz. Lenny Kravitz. He would have been great. On Amazon, I watched Hunters, which let's pull that up. All right, so I watched this entire show. I won't spoil the ending for you, but it's Al Pacino, and it's quasi based off of the true story of 1970s of Nazi hunters, and I didn't like that they were bombastically over the top at times. Like it felt like they're trying to be Inglorious Bastards and Django Unchained, but also they were dealing with a very heavy subject matter. Like at times, it was almost like Schindler's List in terms of some of the scenes that were just like gut wrenching, like absolute gut wrenching. And then you juxtapose that with like some really campy, over the top blaxploitation sort of theme. I don't think that it meshed well. I really don't. But that being said, like I think Pacino's performance was amazing. I didn't like the kid, Dylan Baker. Dylan Baker, he's always like the whiny bitch in everything that he's in. In this show, he was in Fury, the tank movie with Brad Pitt. Phenomenal movie, by the way. The Perks of Being a Wallflower. Yeah, he was in that movie too. And Pacino was great. Actually, let's look at the cast. Where's the full cast? Oh. All right. Oh, sorry. Logan Lerman. Who did I say was a bitch? Just a random person, I guess. So I think that Carol Kane, who plays one of the hunters, there were some scenes there where she would deserve an Emmy, just like straight up. There's a monologue scene there in some of the later episodes where she just kills it. She just destroys it, and it was awesome. And also, see here, there's a guy. Where's the name? The young Nazi dude. Oh, here you go. All right, so Greg Austin plays this character named Travis Leitch, where he was so creepily haunting that, wow. That was an amazing performance. So you have some of these amazing performances on a TV show that's completely uneven. Some of the storyline is weird. Some of the plot twists are sort of why. And I don't know. I think overall it was a good show, but I mean, if they go with season 2, I'm not like fist pump snap calling ready for it. So there you go. Also, been watching Better Call Saul. Keeping up with that for sure. All right. So that long way of saying Netflix. So here. Luke Petroconis. If you're a Spielman, what moves would you make in the rest of free agency and the draft? I would look to add one veteran defensive back, one veteran cornerback, wide receiver, one veteran offensive lineman, and then just hammer the draft. Just go after BPA. Gavin C. Any additional thoughts on signing of Michael Pierce, signing the Vikings, coach him up to be the great he can be? Well, again, respect to the Ravens defensive line coach who, name escapes me. He's been there since 16. So he's been there the entire Michael Pierce time. And obviously he's done great work. But, I mean, it's Andre Patterson. It's Andre freaking Patterson. Let's go. Money waste. Quinn Dunbar going to the Seahawks. Who is the cornerback who's targeted most in free agency besides NRC? I'm not really interested in anyone else except for NRC. That's really it. Eric Normal. Do you feel like the shelf life of the Zimmer regime is coming to an end? I feel like Zimmer's like those cans of beef that you see in a bomb shelter. You know, the ones that have paper labels. They're not even like plastic, but yeah, the paper label canned beef, and it says made in 1954. Like they made that can of beef for Korea, and that'll be good for 200 years. The Mike Zimmer will eat it. He'll open up the can with a knife, you know, not with a can opener, just like a straight knife, and then they'll just eat it with his shirt off. That's what Zimmer will do. But in all seriousness, yeah, probably. Cheesy27, commenting from Northside Minneapolis, shout out. Do you think there are any contracts going to be restructured at this point? I could see a Reef being restructured if they do keep him around, and or a pay cut. Barr that could restructure, free up quite a bit of money if they needed to. But of course, we talked about even the hashtag cap is a myth. The restructuring, I mean, does basically kick the can down the road. You will have those cap hits in future years, but with the cap going up, especially precipitously in 2021, it's actually an okay strategy at this point. Noodle 130, who's a monthly Jerome. Find out how you can become a monthly Jerome. Hit that join box down below and support this. Yeah. Do you think the Vikings should draft to replenish the defense or boost the offense? Who do you think the Vikings will take at 22? And when do you think this virus will end? I actually think they're going to go more offense than defense this time around. I think this is Kirk Cousins' team much more than it is Mike Zimmer's. Vikings take at 22. Just a shot at the dark name. I will say Denzel Mims. I really like him out of Baylor. And when do you think the virus will end? I think that will start petering out here within 6 weeks. I think there will be a vaccine by Christmas. I think the economy will quasi be back to normal in about 2 years. I think this is going to be a long one. Cyberbully123. Over under the amount of games we shake our heads after, like Bears week 4 last year. Next year, I will say 4. I'll say 4. No, over under. Sorry, 3.5. There you go. Aline Jenkins. What positions do you hope the Vikings get in the first 2 days of the draft? I want wide receiver, O-line, 2 corners. Hopefully offensive. Agreed. Spencer Vox. What do you think we should do with Rudolph at the end of his contract? Well, let's actually pull that up. If Spot Rack is actually working. Kyle Rudolph. Okay. Oh, by the way, shout out to Kyle Rudolph donating 82,000 meals, trying to get 600,000 raised up. That's awesome, man. Like Kyle Rudolph, for whatever we knock him for on the field, he's phenomenal off the field. He really is a great example, great leader. So after this year, he has a $9.45 million cap hit, $4.35 million dead, yada yada yada, all that other stuff. So he had a great year last year. He was worth every single penny of the extension last year. But as we've seen, I mean, these extensions with Brzezinski are team friendly. They are very much front loaded. Like if Rudy had played like ass last year, I mean, I wouldn't have put it past them for just eating the $5.8 million in dead and just freeing up $3 million and moving on. So the Vikings do have that option. It's basically a year-to-year contract. So I think it all depends on him. Like if he keeps playing like the way they did last year, yeah, he'll stick around. If not, yeah. So next up, Kushal Segal. Do you think Zimmer's gotten too comfortable with certain players that he liked and then forced us into situations where he have a lot of depth and holes that fills in our defense? Well, the players that he liked would have been the cornerbacks, and they're all gone. So no. I actually feel like Zimmer, if anything, is hard on his players as well as alienates some of them at times. Like I think he takes some of the toughness and the mind games a little bit too far at times. Especially you have these prima donna athletes, you have these millennials / Gen Zers, and all of a sudden you got this baby boomer just yelling at you all the time. They're like, okay, boomer, sure. Kevin A. Downey. Cody Adams, $1 in the super chat. Shout out Cody Adams, nice beard, man. Kevin Downey. While everybody's freaking out about losing Everson Griffin and a whole bunch of other veterans, I think it's a necessary evil. The band is playing together for quite some time, and if it wants to win a championship, LSU Kason and Fulton and Hamler and Mims and that's a lot to digest. I'll just answer the first part. So It does suck losing Everson. I think leadership is a quality that you can't quantify, but you do need it, as well as, I mean, the fact that you're losing Linval, you are losing veterans like Xavier Rhodes and Andrew Sendejo. That does weigh on the team, but also because Everson was good last year. Everson was freaking amazing. So I think that he still could have had a great impact on the field for 1, 2, 3 more years. But the Vikings didn't think that the juice is worth the squeeze, and it is what it is. So I think that there will be a significant use move. Also, a Fadio Denebo season for life. Yeah. Jason226. Would you be okay with Harrison a late round pick to New England for their first? I mean, yeah, sure. I'm in. Preacher Paul, love the content. I'm an over-the-road driver and really enjoy your channel. Jerome, homie, we said love it. It's awesome, man. Again, thank you very much for making those deliveries. Yeah, truck drivers, grocery workers, like distribution people, thank you. As we're all locked up in our homes, we're wondering where we're going to get our next bag of Taco Doritos, which, by the way, is the sponsor of the show and the apocalypse, because it's the only flavor that the gringos here in Minnesota leave me. Sure. Yeah, just thank you. I mean, you guys are putting yourselves at risk. Same thing with healthcare workers, same thing with first responders, same thing with police, everything. It's great. Shout out to you, Paul. John Vang, great work. My favorite vids watch, I'm taking a deuce. I'm sure a lot of people are. Actually, how many people in the live chat are on the crapper right now? That's what I want to know. My favorite vids watch, who's your top safety coming out of Delpit, McKinney, Winfield Jr.? I like Delpit, but it's pretty close out of the 3. Davis Warrow. What do you think about getting Ndamukong Suh back to pair with Pierce? No. Hunter Williams, I think the Vikings still have one more trick up their sleeve. It does seem like they are trying to gear up for one more move. Now, if that move actually comes to fruition, we'll see. Jacob McCollum, I love your channel, man. Keep going. I love you, man. Thanks for coming along. Mason Large. What stadiums have you seen the Vikings play at, and what stadiums do you recommend to visit? I live in Tennessee, so I've been to the Panthers, Washington, Titans, but also Minneapolis 3 or 4 times. So I've only seen the Vikings at Soldier Field and at, TCF, US Bank Stadium, as well as the Metrodome. That's really about it. Soldier Field kind of sucks. I've heard that Lambeau sucks. I do want to see it firsthand, though. If you're sitting next to a 350-pound Packer fan who's sitting in his own piss because he drank too many Miller High Lifes, he's wearing blaze orange so you can see him really good, and you're sitting on bleachers stadium seats, and this guy's saying, I'm an owner. I don't know. Yeah. Actually, I haven't been to too many NFL stadiums. The problem is that the NFL TV product is perfect. It is perfect. It's way different than baseball. It's way different than hockey, where it's a much better at the game experience. I mean, football's great. All right, so Skull Vikings 88. What are good shows to binge during quarantine? Top Chef, Narcos is really great. I don't know if I would recommend Hunters. Like, it's definitely an acquired taste. It's like kind of, yeah. Let's see, what else am I watching? There's another one. Oh, Ozark. Ozark season 3 comes out Friday. Really pumped about that. Better Call Saul. Seasons are on Netflix, and I've just been DVRing it on YouTube TV. It's great too. Speaking of which, John Carl Inwood here, excited for season 3 Ozark. I want to know what happens with that casino, because at the end of season 2, it's clear that they didn't have the budget to actually get like a real riverboat, so that thing looks like a dinghy. That thing looks like Popeye's boat with all right, let's pull that up. Ozark Riverboat Casino. That's not a good shot. Oh, yeah. All right. All right, so you're supposed to, I'm supposed to believe that little dinky boat's going to be a casino. Get the hell out of here. Get out of here. But that's how it goes with the magic of TV sometimes. I might rewatch Sons of Anarchy. Oh, Mayans MC. By the way, it's a great show. I think 2 seasons are out. It's really good. Salvador Estrada. Should we go to a 3-4 defense and draft Kayvon Chason from LSU? Yeah, because he's going to be Daniil Hunter because he played D-end at LSU. Just like Tayshaun Bauer. Great. Noah Jackson. With Diggs going to Buffalo, what's your opinion on Dylan Mitchell? I never really bought into the Dylan Mitchell hype. I think that his ceiling is probably Stacy Coley. Yeah. I mean, hopefully it proves me wrong, to be honest. Matt Smith, if the top 4 receivers are gone, Judy, Lamb, Ruggs, and Higgins before 22nd pick, do you see the Vikings take a receiver in the second round? Yeah, I could certainly see that, because then you have that secondary wave of receivers like Chase Claypool, KJ Hill, Michael Pittman Jr., maybe Chenault even falls that far due to his injury history. It's possible. Or maybe, I mean, teams just see Justin Jefferson as a slot guy. Maybe he falls. I mean, he certainly could. MIT03, how do you feel about the Vikings picking up cornerback Logan Ryan? Meh at this point. Josiah, we're at Skull from Nebraska and NCAA. I have 3 teams that cheer for the Huskers, Texas, LSU. How about Colin Johnson, wide receiver from Texas? Meh. Next year, Sam Ellinger for backup quarterback. I do like Ellinger. Colin Johnson sort of for me. Ryan Lee, greetings, fellow Korean American Vikings loving barbecue enthusiasts. Actually, I found out I'm 70% Japanese, so konnichiwa. Bueno, donne arigato, Mr. Scotto. I was bummed we couldn't get Chris Harris somehow. What do you think about Jimmy Smith? Big slot corner. Jimmy Smith, formerly of the Ravens. Did they cut him or they just terminate his contract? Actually, that's the same thing, isn't it? It's one of the spots where if it's extremely cheap, sure. But also, I'm not like banging on the door ready to bust out a bunch of dough for it. But yeah, shout out Ryan Lee. Cyberbully123. Will you do anything when you reach your next milestone for 25K? And if so, what would it be? We'll just do a live stream, because why not? But if we do get 100K, I think we get a plaque. Actually, I think it's like a printout, a sheet of paper. It's like, congratulations, you have a lot of free time. There you go. Jerome Shalom, 24K by April 24th, 4 Loco challenge one time. Oh yeah, because we drank the 4 so if you're new to the channel, we did a thing where if we had 20,000 subs by the Super Bowl or something like that, we would shotgun the. So we had a watermelon 4 Loco, like a 24-ouncer that was sitting up on the shelf for years, right? And eventually I drank it. It was so terrible. Like, you know, the person who died from drinking like the fish tank cleaner. I imagine that's what it was like, because it was just like overly sweet, burned, booze, old. Yeah, that's what it was like. So maybe Alex Berger, best poker spot in MSP besides Canterbury. Well, Running Aces does have a great room. It is all the way up in Forest Lake, so it's up in the Northeast, a little bit far. It does have really good Omaha action. It's spread Omaha, but yeah. Then home games. Home games is basically where it's at, but everything's shut down right now anyway, so it doesn't matter. Hunter Williams, I've heard Nickel Roby Coleman could come one time. I'd say sure. Eric Nelson, do you think Zimmer's peaked as a coach? Yes. Kevin Valdez, trade Zimmer for Tomlin? I would do that. Hunter Williams, Viking Super Bowl champs 2020, first time anybody agrees. Skull from Coon Rapids. Shout out to the North Metro. Maybe. Jason Schwartz, what do you think about signing Jason Peters? I think Jason Peters is dead set to go to Tampa and play right tackle. But if he came here, yeah. Ryan O'Sullivan, trade up for Jeff Okuda one time. We did a video on that a couple weeks ago. I would be okay with that. Like, if you package 22 and a second and a third, where you have 2/3 anyways, able to move up for Jeff Okuda one time. Let's do it. Trace Long's favorite whiskey. I like Buffalo Trace. I like Bullet, except that's bourbon. Jameson's good. I mean, Jameson's a good standby. Like, even though I get that people like to be snobs and stuff. It's like, oh, well, Jameson's mass-produced, whatever. I mean, Jameson's still good. Maker's Mark. That's bourbon, though. Yeah. Scumbag Prime. How good will Adam Thielen be in fantasy football next year? Well, he'll have the target share. But will it be quality target share? I don't know. I could see him clocking in at, like, wide receiver 15 next year. Langston Tidwell Bennett. Do you think Dylan Mitchell can make the roster this year? Hercules, the next factor of healthy. I would bet no. And then yes. Alexander Garcia. We just traded Watson for Kirk. Okay, sure. Yeah. The whole thing about it is that I always have to look now. Yeah. Now I have to look at the Twitter machine just because of the off chance maybe they did trade Deshaun Watson for Kirk Cousins, but that's a big no. Harvey Melber. So if you want to give me these comments, do that. Harvey Melber, what's your go-to game time food and or drink? Also, what's your thoughts? I think that the fact that they ignore a cornerback, and we'll see in the draft if they do too, I think it just means that this is not Zimmer's team anymore. Game time food. I generally just like smoking some meat or doing some wings or whatever. I don't eat a lot during the game. Drink. I generally don't booze a lot during games, mainly because we're making content and getting ready for the post-game show and all that other stuff. So usually coffee or this is kind of funny. So it is a gallon of branch chain aminos, even though so it's lemon lime flavor, and also I mixed it with so I got some orange pre-workout in here too. So it just looks like piss. It's like day 14 of the quarantine. Andy's drinking his own piss. That's how desperate times have been. At least we have the internet. Cool. See what else is next. So do you think the Vikings will have a Super Bowl appearance in the next 5 seasons? Yes. Broad Phoenix. Do you see Mike Hughes being our number 1 cornerback, or will be a future signing or draft pick? I think Hughes will step up. Just hanging on to hope that Mike Hughes does step up. Thoughts on bringing Devin Funchess in as a big receiver? Probably get him cheap. Well, we already have a tight end who's like a wide receiver in Irv Smith, so meh. Chris Skull from ABQ. Just curious if you've ever been to New Mexico, ever seen Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul. Have not had the fortune to be to New Mexico, but want to get out there, as well as Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, as well as El Camino. It's phenomenal. I just love anything and everything for that universe. Sports Powerhouse. Think spots for both Joe Thuney and Trent Williams. Oh, baby. Thuney for Ant Williams, or Ant Harris straight up. Reef for Trent Williams straight up. If they did that, I would build a shrine to Rick Spielman out of my own skin. Like, in my shadow, shedding skin. Like, I would just, carve. That's a little bit weird. Don't care. Do you think Thuney for us is the right move? Yes, one time. Do you think Joe Burrow would be a bust? I am concerned that he's not going to the best franchise ever. TBD, what happens to Zach Taylor? He does have some decent pieces. I think Jonah Williams is a nice offensive lineman bouncing back. Mixon can run. AJ Green is past his prime, but whatever, they tagged him because he's a name. I think Tyler Boyd is actually the better receiver there. I think it's going to be really tough for him. I think it's going to be super tough. Honestly, Burrow going to Cincy, even though he may have more talent than Tua or Herbert or Jordan Love, wherever, I like the other spots that they're going to land. I really do. Evan Bajelica. Not sure if the rumors are true or the talks are. John Mitchell. What are the chances the first 3 in the draft being DB, wide receiver, offensive line, that or? I would say 70%. It's pretty close. Unless something insane happens, like Javon Kinlaw is at 22. That's going to be the neighborhood the Vikings going to be in. Lastly, landing spots for Griff and Rhodes. I think Everson eventually ends up in Seattle. I think Rhodes ends up eventually in Las Vegas. Aqib Talib and Ndamukong Suh, Damon Harrison one time. No. One day with Freddie Mercury, John Adams, or Biggie, who would you choose? I would. Biggie would be a lot of fun because that's going to be one hell of a party. I think Freddie Mercury would be pretty interesting, except I think he's a bit of a diva. John Adams, mainly just because I want to see how people from that era actually talked and actually thought about the world. By the way, Billions is a phenomenal TV show. I just saw, but weird thing. So John Adams, there was a miniseries where Paul Giamatti played John Adams, and Paul Giamatti obviously on Billions, great show. So watch that show. I'll pick John Adams. Pretty close up. Stay safe. From New Jersey. P.S. Anyone remember Stacey Coley? I do. Hype. Not so much. All right. So now, Just for schnitz and giggles, rounding out the hour, we're going to do a 7-round mock draft. We got our friends at the Draft Network up. I like this if you're just going to do a fast one because it is super fast. I want to go fast. All right. Yo, here we go. Maybe it'll let me make my 7th-round picks this time because it froze up yesterday. It's kind of funny. All right, let's try and fit this. It doesn't fit. That's what she said. All right. So recapping the draft so far. Burrow, Okuda too. Oh, they took a guy. So this is a very Washington thing to do. 1, they rob us of the best cornerback in the draft. 2, they allow Chase Young to go to the frickin' Lions. Whatever. Okay. Brown, Simmons, Henderson, Mekhi Becton, and then a run of receivers. This happened yesterday too in the early teens. DeAndre Swift, Tom Brady. Yeah, I like the graphic that they had when Tom Brady initially signed with the Bucs. It's like Tom Brady, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Ronald Jones. Yeah, he's not going to be the running back. DeAndre Swift out of Georgia, first running back off the board. All right, so Kilavon Chason goes to the Cowboys. Kinlaw goes to the Falcons. Annoying. Andrew Thomas goes there. Delpit's off the board. McKinney's off the board. Christian Fulton's off the board as well. All right, so Vikings are up. Espenza is there. Even though, yeah, I know I'm mispronouncing his name, but whatever. Josh Jones is there. Let's see here. So wide receiver-wise, Jefferson, Chenault, Mims, Higgins, Rieger, they're all there. They're all phenomenal. They're whatever. Cornerback-wise, Gladney's there. Trevon Diggs is there. Jalen. There's a lot of great talent right here. So, I mean, if I was the Vikings at this point, like if I'm not taking O-line, which I am, so I'm just going to take Josh Jones. Left tackle of the future. All right, so now Jordan Love went to the Patriots. Ooh, Justin Jefferson went to the Saints. That's gross. That is gross. Justin Jefferson, Emmanuel Sanders, Michael Thomas, one time. So now, frankly, if I'm the Vikings, this is a prime trade back spot because there's so many wide receivers that I like. There's so many cornerbacks that I like that you can get a little bit later on. You get a little bit of value. It's fine. But since we are going to stay here, yeah, I'm just going to do it. I love Laviska Shenault so much just because I'm still hung up on Percy Harvin so bad. It's like, I wanted it to work, man. I wanted it to work. Actually, wait. I should take a sip of this so people know that's actually not piss. Or is it? Oh, that was piss. No, just kidding. All right, so Vikings back up again. Recapping first round. So left tackle of the future, you got a dynamic playmaker in Chenault. Let's go. All right, so now we're going to be looking at cornerback. And, oh, looky, here comes Hookie. Like, so many freaking awesome names. Jalen Johnson, Dancer, Arnett, the second fiddle to Okuda. Bryce Hall's there. Tony Pride Jr. is there. There's a lot. There's a lot to work with. Just want to check in real quick. So the Robert Hunt still sitting there chilling. Ooh, baby. Let's look at the big board real quick. Oh, Ezra Cleveland is still there. Oh, man. That sort of changes things. Because I do want to double dip on O-line at a certain point. And, man. I actually think cornerback, you could chill. I'm going to do it because I feel like there's just so much value there. Because Ezra Cleveland comes in. He's got tackle potential. He could be your starting guard day one. Josh Jones is going to be starting on the left side right away. I say screw it. We're in. Back-to-back offensive line. We have 3 offensive players right away. I mean, this is clearly Kirk Cousins' team now. So now I don't even want to look at cornerbacks because I know that they're just going to be sucked right off the board right before I pick. All right, so let's take a look. All right, not bad. So Bryant's there. The Iowa kid is there. Trajan's there. Maybe we did miss the boat a little bit. All right. So we're probably not going to triple back. Chase Claypool is there. Chase. KJ would be great from the slot, too. All right, so where are we at in the big board? You know what? I'm just going to say screw it. Yeah, I put off cornerback so far. I'm just going to grab a couple later on. Here we go. All right, so we're going to grab the Iowa kid. Also going to be looking at Lavert Hill, Lamar Jackson potentially. Take a look at the big board. Vikings up in the 4th round. Oh, Nick Coe for show? Yeah. All right, we're putting off cornerback for another round again. Oh, man. All right, so, yeah, they got 5th round pick. It's coming up. Let's go. All right, so now Miles Bryant is coming up on the board, as well as J.R. Reed from Georgia is there. Just chilling. Let me call Pirine, the big back from Florida. I do like him. Brandon Roy is there. Let's see, is Lynch still there? No, Lynch would be long gone, right? Yeah. Khalil Davis, Workout Wonder is available. All right, let's go to the big board. Yeah, I'm just going to grab the second cornerback right now. I do like the way this draft is shaping up, though. The fact that right away your first 4 picks, you just go 2 linemen, 2 wide receivers, and just like win the day, whatever. Whatevs. Can Divinity make it? I don't know. Nope, he did not make it. All right, so Divinity is gone. So just look at the big board. So Taylor Muse from Clemson's, they're chilling. Juwan Jennings from Tennessee, although I think you're probably pretty good at wide receiver. AJ Green is there as well. I think he could potentially. James Lynch is right there. Screw it. All right, so James Lynch. Kamal Martin. Yeah, we gotta do one homer pick. Kamal Martin, I really like. The fact that you're getting him in the 6th round is good value. I think he's probably gonna go late 4th, early 5th, potentially. All right, so into the 7th. So now we're just sort of like whatever. Oh, Roquan is there. It's finally time to pick up a running back. J.J. Taylor is just there winking at us. Probably getting him with the 2nd, 7th rounder. 2nd of 3. Sure. Oh no, we just lost J.J. Taylor. Everything is over. All right. All right. We have Mo Neal, and we'll grab a quarterback right at the end. So Cole McDonald's there chilling. Mason Fine, I like. Bryce Perkins is interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna go Mason Fine. Screw it. All right. So going through the picks. So right away, just in terms of straight up value, Josh Jones, like we said, I want to come away with one of the top 6 tackles. We did just that. Josh Jones, left tackle of the future. Laviska Shenault, the do-it-all, Swiss Army knife. Just if he can stay healthy, dynamic playmaker. I love him. And then it just turned into value, right? Because cornerback obviously a need, but we decided to wait on that. Great wide receiver class, great cornerback class. And Ezra Cleveland was just sitting there chilling at 58. Or I think Cleveland may sneak into the back end of the 1st round. And the fact that you're able to get 2 top-tier offensive linemen, Cleveland projects the kick inside. I think he could play tackle if you need him to. So, the future offensive line for the Vikings, left to right, could be Josh Jones, Ezra Cleveland, Garrett Bradbury, Drew Samia, and Brian O'Neill. Come on. Chase Claypool, the physical freak wide receiver from Notre Dame. Picked up the Iowa cornerback. Picked up Nick Coe for show from Auburn. Miles Bryant from Washington. Come on down. James Lynch were able to get in the 6th. Or is that the 5th? Doesn't matter. Kamal Martin, linebacker from the U, coming on in. Jalen Elliott, the safety. Mo Neal, the running back from Syracuse, as well as Mason Fine, the North Texas quarterback. It's a very good draft class. That is all. But that is it. That's the Nooner live stream. Guys, thank you very much for coming along. Heart you, Jerome's. And if you want to support the work, hit that join button down below. Find out how you can become a monthly or platinum Jerome. Do that up. But until next time, we'll be back tomorrow. Skol. Production value.